Right, so Mixing Wednesdays, yes that's right, I am back again. I'm done promoting this single now. And I'm moving on to my second single, but we're not speaking about that today. What are we going to be speaking about? Guess what? Is it acoustic audio? Yes, but in another video, because I'm doing two Mixing Wednesdays today. So I'm not speaking about acoustic audio, we are speaking about PULTEC and PULTEC emulations and what is the best PULTEC emulation on the market. Right, okay, so PULTECs, we all love a PULTEC, don't we? Who doesn't love a PULTEC as a mixing engineer? All the big engineers use it, normally on the mixbus. I know CLA uses it, and I don't, JGP, Jack Joseph, all the big guys use PULTECs, right? I'm pretty sure they do. The reason why it's so popular is that it has boost and it has an attenuation, which means that basically what you can do is you could boost the frequency and attenuate it at the same time, which basically means, so say if it's 100 Hz, you're just adding a big 100 Hz boost, what you're basically doing is you're replacing the signal that's already there with the character of the EQ. So what I use it for is on the mixbus, I use on the Puigtec, I use 20 Hz. It's a low end trick. There's a video I've done versus the Puigtec and the Acoustica Purple, and it was all about the low end trick, and I just couldn't get the Acoustica Purple to get anywhere near the low end of the Puigtec. So I was like, right, Puigtec's for me. So obviously me being me, I am an absolute mixing geek, and I do love Control Room, and I keep on telling you about it, but do join Control Room. It's only like a £5 a month. Everything I learn comes from there, right? Again, so I was on Control Room, and I was speaking about, I think it was like the Acoustica Gold video that I was doing. I was speaking about Acoustica Audio, and a mixing engineer called Jack commented, and he was like, no, what, like, there's a company called NOISEASH. I've never heard of NOISEASH. He's like, they do this Neve emulation, and I like fall in love with it. It's like the low mids for the guitars, like, chef kiss, right? I'm like, oh, right, okay, never heard of that. And then we started getting speaking. He's like, I also use the PULTEC. Honestly, they do the best PULTEC I've ever heard. So I was like, all right, okay, never heard of NOISEASH. So I go on there, and I'm like, THD, Total Harmonic Distortion. I'm like, right, okay, that's what's making all the plugins sound so good these days. So again, Brainworks, LINDELL, again, they're all using some form of THD. So I'm like, THD, okay, that's good. Okay, listen to a few demos. I was like, right, okay, take Jack's word for it. So I was like, right, okay, I need to then do a comparison, because I love Puigtec, and I was like, there's no way, nothing to beat the Puigtec for me. At the same time, I was like, right, okay, is there any other PULTEC emulations that I've got on me at hand? So I was like, yes, I've got the Plugin Alliance bundle. So LINDELL, everybody knows how much I love LINDELL. LINDELL have a plugin called the PEX500. It's a PULTEC, but it's their own variation of a PULTEC. The other two are basically trying to emulate a straight off PULTEC. LINDELL said that they're trying to, it's a PULTEC, but it's not really a PULTEC. It's a fucking PULTEC. So it's going to be Puigtec versus the RuleTech versus the PEX500. So it's going to be quite exciting, isn't it? So let's see how we go on. Right, okay, let's get this done. So, on the mix bus, we have three competitors. First off is the Puigtec from WAVES. Again, this is based on JGP's own PULTEC. Then we have the RuleTech that everybody's been telling me about. This is from NOISEASH. And then lastly, we have the LINDELL. Now, the LINDELL is obviously one that's a little bit difficult because they aren't marketing it as a PULTEC, but it is based off a PULTEC and it is their form of a PULTEC. So, as you can see, boost attenuate, it's a PULTEC. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to play the mix bus and I'm going to bypass each one, and then we'll play them one after the other, and then we'll see which one we like the best. Again, this is my single settle pedal, and I've got as much in as I can without the CPU crashing. So yes, let's get to it, and this is with it out. first off, what's the PULTEC doing? Really, really easy. Again, you've got 20 Hz, 4 dB boost, just a little bit more attenuation. I'm boosting 8K and I'm attenuating 1 dB, okay? So it's really, really easy. Now, what you could hear that it's doing, again, I brought the output down, so we're not in a place where it's just kind of big level bump and that's what you're hearing. So from what I can hear, and hopefully what you guys can hear, is that what it's actually doing is it's giving you a little bit of a bass bump, so the bass is coming a little bit more, the bass is a little bit more rounder, and the kick is punching a little bit. And then the guitars, without it, it kind of sounds a little bit muddy to me. I just think it makes the track a little bit clearer. So you've got that nice bit of bass boost, and then the mids are coming a little bit alive, especially the guitars, and it's just sounding a little bit more clear and a little bit more open. So that's basically the sound of a PULTEC. That's what I've been using for years. So let's try the new competitor that everybody's been talking about. Let's see what the Rule Tech is giving me. So that is a massive, massive, massive difference. And again, as you can hear, I've tried to bring the gain down as well. Look, 1.7 dB gain down. And I've got the analog switch as well. What is crazy is the bass difference. Now, I was always using this as a bass bump. Look at this thing, right? So I've boosted it a little bit more than I did with the Puigtec. But again, you'll kind of hear that's because I'm trying to match the Lindell. But the Puigtec can't get the low end of this, nowhere near. And the guitars and the mids is more open and it's more wider. It's such a contrast when you're putting it in and out. So again, I always mix with the PULTECs in. That's what I do. So automatically to me, it's basically doing what the Puigtec's doing, but on steroids. It's giving you a better bass boost. Because the problem is with the Puigtec, when you push the Puigtec's bass too much, it starts to become a little bit too smeary, and you kind of lose that clarity that you're kind of wanting. And you don't want to lose the clarity of your low end. So I do think it's got tighter low end. It is bigger due to the THD that's in it, and I definitely feel that the mids are more aggressive, and the mids are definitely coming out, and they're definitely wider, and it just really, in terms of opening the track up, it completely opens it up. Almost takes it almost like a little bit of a different record. It's got this little thing called V-bump as well. I think that's to do with the low end, I think. So let's compare that to the Lindell. So let's hear what we're getting from the Lindell. So to me, what the Lindell is doing, and again, as you can see, it's got mid-side as well, which could be really handy. Now, what I think that the Lindell does is basically it's very similar to the Puigtec. I think it's basically still just a little step up. And the good thing with this Lindell is it has auto gain as well. So as you see, there's no output in here, so which is really handy. So again, you're not being coloured by the big jump in loudness. Okay, so that's really handy, and it does sound better than the Puigtec. I think it's got better low end, and there's a little bit more harmonics in there. It's a little bit more saturation in the guitars, but it doesn't have the width. I don't think it brings the mix as open as the Rule Tech. So let's do them all side by side.
So that was a little bit more apparent. So as you can hear, the Lindell is a lot closer to the Puigtec, where this thing just stands out on its own. I just feel that the low end is definitely tighter, it's bigger, and the mids are much open, and it gives it clarity. I think that's one of the biggest things that people use PULTECs for, is the clarity. So yes, let's go back to the studio and we'll wrap this up.
Right, okay, so that was interesting, wasn't it? So again, the Puigtec sounds good, but it is amazing. And again, watch that Waves video that I've done, and I've been speaking about Waves on the downcline, and I do believe that the downcline, the decline, and how I believe that I don't think Waves in the next 5 years, unless they change some things drastically, are going to be around. And I think these other plugin manufacturers are on the up, and they're going to take over. Again, just that video alone is another proof that there are other manufacturers out there doing better jobs. It did sim the weakest. Again, I tried to level match it as good as I could, but the Realtek, how fucking great was the Realtek, right? Come on, like NOISEASH did such a good job there. That low end, my god, not only was it bigger, right, but it was tighter. And then, I mean, how they did that with the mids, is there like a stereo width in there? I don't know how they did it. There's certain like Acoustica plugins, you normally find that they make things wider. And I just thought it was great. I love what it added to the mixbus. I loved how it was like lows, mids. And it basically said what it's going to do in the tin. I'm going to give you this nice bit of low at 30, and I'm going to give you some wide 8K, bang. Where the Lindell is kind of like, you've kind of got this low mids, like a little bit more analog in there. And it wasn't as wide, but it was better than the Puigtec. And I did like, you know what, I was thinking a lot of times I was listening to the Lindell and I was like, oh, I do quite like this. It's just basically like the Puigtec, but a little bit more balls. But the Realtek is so different. The worry is for me that I was like, oh, it's so different. Like you bypass it, I'm like, wow, that's different. But I mix into it anyway, so I don't think it's really going to matter. So does that sound like a PULTEC? I don't know. If that's what a PULTEC actually sounds like. What I will say, when you do watch videos online, and there's one mixing video, right, and it's crazy, right? A guy's mixing on an SSL console, and I can't remember what song it was, but he's just mixing. It's a live one. You'll find it on YouTube, and he puts like all this hardware stuff in. There's a point where he sticks on a PULTEC, and I was like, whoa, what the hell? Like this low end and this kind of clarity and like excitement came in, and that kind of reminded me of the Realtek. So I think it might actually be quite close to the hardware. So for me, NOISEASH, they have lots and lots and lots and lots of different plugins, right? 70% off summer sale. You can pick up the Realtek for 22 quid. That is a absolute steal. I don't know what the Puigtec is on it just now. But just remember, the Puigtec's like probably like 10, 12 years old or something. It's fucking ancient, man. It is absolutely ancient. And that's the whole thing. I'm comparing like the Lindell, the PX500, when did that maybe come out? Maybe 5-6 years ago. And then the NOISEASH, I don't know how long that's been out for, maybe a year or two. And I've never heard of them, and they're competitively priced, and I've just like got up a mental plugin, and it sounds absolutely amazing. So again, another shootout on Waves comes down at the bottom, because I think it's that THD. Again, watch that video that I've done all about the decline of Waves audio, and where I think that they're kind of lacking, and where they're kind of like sitting, kind of relying on their laurels and their past successes. So hopefully that was good for you guys. Comment down below your thoughts as always. Again, like and subscribe to this channel, because I have lots and lots and lots more videos to do. Again, I've got another Puigchild. I've got the Puigchild, again, Waves versus the Acoustica Ultramarine, and I've also thrown in the MJUC as well, because that does have a Fairchild emulation as well. This I'm kind of done with. Please stick it, listen to it, just let me know what you think. Put it on a playlist, I'm done. But my second single is going to come out, and again I've done a video about recording the acoustic guitar for that, and again how I used the heat from Pro Tools for the first time. That's amazing. And what actually it sounds like to record through the Audient ID14, and again how good it is and why you should be using it if you are like a home DIY mixing engineer. And again, or if you just want to record something at high quality, listen to the acoustic guitars, man. Honestly, that mic there, AT2050 from Audio Technica, right? Over like maybe £150 mic. Do that preamp, right? beautiful. So watch that video, and again, tell me what you think. So most importantly, guys, subscribe, because again, we all know, I keep on saying that I want to get to, what do I want to get to? 1,000 subscribers. Yes, I want to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I've managed to get over 560 subscribers in, what is that now, 6 months or something like that. So I've managed to get that in 6 months. So I will keep on putting good content up for you mixing engineers, but you gotta let me know what you want, man. Like I'm kind of like, I'll keep on doing acoustic because acoustic is popular, right? And it's just smashing the views. But if there's something you want to see, tell me, right? I'm doing all this work going, oh, by the way, have you heard this? Have you heard this? Have you heard that? Right, tell me, is there any plugins that you know? Are you a plugin manufacturer? Do you work for a plugin company? Don't go to White Sea Studio, because you're just going to say it's probably shit, right? It's snake oil, it is shit. I can't do it a Netherlands accent, right? Okay, whatever, right? But again, give it to me and I'll give you an honest review. I'm a plugin guy, right? So again, tell me about plugins that you've heard that like I've never heard of. If it's really good, tell me. I'll try it out and I'll let everybody else know about it. So like, subscribe, listen to that, just do something with it, because I can put too much work into it. And again, keep an eye out for my second single, which will be out in 3-4 weeks, and I will see you again on Mixing Wednesdays next Wednesday.